Life can change in an instant. Sometimes it's the simplest moments that lead us to unexpected paths. A single act of kindness or a small mistake can shape our future in ways we can't predict. Today, we have the story of Sandra, a cleaner, and the CEO, whose lives cross in a way neither of them could have imagined. Sandra wakes up early every morning, preparing for yet another long day of cleaning the offices of a large corporate building. Her life is simple, and she spends her days scrubbing floors and cleaning windows, a job that most people don't even notice. However, Sandra's heart is full of kindness, and despite the hardships, she holds on to hope that one day her life will change. Her job might not bring her much recognition, but she finds meaning in the little things: a smile from a colleague or a compliment from a visitor. She works tirelessly, treating everyone she meets with respect, always believing that good things come to those who show kindness. One day, while cleaning the lobby, Sandra notices an elderly woman sitting alone, looking rather deep in thought. The woman is lost in her own world, appearing tired and burdened by something, perhaps life itself. Sandra, noticing the woman's distress, approaches her gently and offers her help, asking if there's anything she can do. The woman looks up, and after a brief moment of hesitation, she smiles warmly and replies, "No, my dear, I'm just resting." They begin to talk, and the elderly woman reveals that she is the mother of the company's CEO. She speaks fondly of her son, the CEO, who is a successful businessman but seems too caught up in his work to appreciate the simple joys in life. Sandra listens intently, offering kind words and advice, making the elderly woman feel heard and valued. Over the course of several encounters, the two develop a quiet friendship. Sandra's warmth and empathy shine through, and the elderly woman feels a sense of comfort in Sandra's presence, something she has not experienced in a long time. However, the CEO's fiancé is not as kind. One day, while Sandra is cleaning, she overhears a conversation between the CEO's fiancé and another employee. The fiancé, in a mocking tone, expresses her disdain for Sandra's job, saying, "Why should she even be here? People like her shouldn't even be in the building."
She's nothing but a cleaner. These words cut deeply into Sandra's heart, but she chooses not to react immediately. When the elderly woman comes in the next day, Sandra steps up and defends her, saying, "Everyone deserves respect, regardless of their role or their job." The fiancé, infuriated by Sandra's boldness, lashes out at her. The confrontation escalates quickly, and Sandra is dismissed from her position. She is hurt, but she stands by her actions, knowing she did the right thing. The CEO, however, is unaware of what transpired. He is initially angry when he hears about the incident and believes that Sandra overstepped her boundaries. But as time goes on, he begins to feel guilty. He thinks about his mother and her kind words about Sandra. Slowly, the CEO starts to realize that he has been blinded by his status and wealth, failing to see the true worth of people like Sandra. He begins to reflect on how he has treated others and how Sandra treated his mother with such dignity. Feeling remorseful, the CEO reaches out to Sandra and apologizes for what happened, admitting that he was wrong to fire her. He offers her a new role as his personal assistant, explaining that he values her character and the strength she showed in defending his mother. Sandra is hesitant at first, unsure if she wants to return to an environment where she was treated unfairly. However, after some thought, she agrees, but with one condition: she will never compromise her values for anyone, no matter how wealthy or powerful they may be. As Sandra takes on her new role, She finds herself working closely with the CEO, gaining a new perspective on the world of business and corporate power. But despite the new surroundings, she remains grounded and true to herself. She treats everyone with kindness and respect, regardless of their position. Over time, Sandra's influence begins to change the CEO. He sees firsthand how her compassion and humility affect the people around her, and he begins to understand the importance of leading with empathy rather than just power. They start to develop a deep mutual respect, and over time, their professional relationship evolves into something more. One evening, after a long day at work, the CEO invites Sandra to dinner. Over the meal, he opens up about his feelings. Sandra, you've changed my life in ways I never thought possible, he says, his voice sincere. You showed me that the value of a person is not determined by their job, but by the goodness in their heart. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. With those words, the CEO finally reveals his true identity, not just as the CEO of a successful company, but as a man who has found love and humility through the woman who once cleaned his office. Sandra is surprised, but touched by his honesty and vulnerability. In that moment, she realizes that true love and respect come not from wealth or status, but from understanding, kindness, and the ability to see people for who they truly are. In the end, this is a story about how one act of kindness can change everything. It teaches us that we should never judge people based on their occupation or appearance, but instead appreciate their humanity and the goodness in their hearts. Sandra's journey is a reminder that we all have the power to change someone's life, just as she changed the CEO's, and that the real measure of a person's worth is how they treat others, not how much they own.